biscuits and gravy.
I love biscuits and gravy.
Yeah.
It's 8:45, kids, and we're going live in 3, 2, 1. Good morning, kids. Welcome to the latest edition of the Kong Family Show. We've got Miss Venita Deleon. Venita, where are you at?
I'm in Washington State. I'm currently in what's called Auburn, Washington.
Okay.
I used to live there.
Oh, okay.
Lived behind the White River Mall.
Oh, really?
I don't know what it's called now.
I hear they'll let anybody live in the state of Washington.
Well, that was just until my probation got over.
Awesome. Well, we're here to have a little bit of fun today and share some great stories. I'm really interested to hear Venita's story. She's kind of a special guest, and we'll kind of get to that. But first off, I just want to welcome everybody. Ryan and Ricky, good to see you guys here. This is the Kong Family Show. We do this Monday through Friday at 8:45 Mountain Time, live in the AM. On Mondays or on Saturdays and Sundays, we do it all kinds of different times. So tune in, keep abreast of what's going on with the Kong Family Show, and we're going to try to always bring you some value and a little bit of fun and some good information. Our goal is really simple. We just want to change the world. And, so we're doing it. It's happening. Make no bones about it. It's one of those goals that we are going to accomplish. And so a big part of that is wonderful people like Venita here, who lives up in the great Northwest. And so, Venita, I want to start this out by asking you the question that I love to hear from everybody. This is always the part that's most intriguing to me is, number one, how did you get involved with the Kong family? Why did you get involved with the Kong family? And were you a skeptic like I was? Because I was a huge skeptic. And so I'm always curious to know that aspect when it comes to the folks that come on here to share their stories.
Mm-hmm. Well, first I'll address the skeptic part. I'm a skeptic about everything, I mean, there's always some new and great fad that's out there where, whether it's get, all these muscles or lose weight or whatever the thing is. And so I'm a skeptic about things like that. And so the way I got involved, it was back in June of 2017. I think it was it'll be 2 years in June. So I was scrolling through, and it sounds so cliche, right? Because I was scrolling through the internet and here, but I was just really kind of in a hard place, and I wanted to look at, what could I do differently financially and employment-wise than what I was doing. I'm a social worker by trade, and I basically just wanted to add something to my toolbox. And so I seen Thomas. Thomas is Thomas Warden. He's my mentor, and I love Thomas. He's such a patient guy. Like I said, it's been 2 years, but I seen him talking about earning money and health-wise and stuff, and so I watched his little video. I clicked on it, I watched it, and I thought, I think this will be something really good for me. It sounds really legit. I researched it a little bit. I didn't just jump on that same night. I researched it a little bit, and then I did. I went to the landing page and I signed up, and I've been a part of it ever since, and I've been going to meetings ever since, and I love it. That's how I got involved. That's how I got involved.
That was, so you just got your Kong and water machine recently, or you've had it for a couple of years, or what was?
I just got my machine. I just bought it, I think Monday or Tuesday.
Awesome. So it's going to be on the way. So my question is, did you know about the Kong and water program, the Kong and the gift that is Kangen water. Did you know about that 2 years ago?
Well, I learned about it in the process.
Uh-huh.
So, you know, I came in with Thomas, and, you know, that was the back end.
So what finally knocked you off the fence and got you to make that wise choice of making that investment into yourself? And, you know, so what knocked you off the fence? What finally made it happen for you? What was holding you back from making it happen 2 years ago versus just this week?
That's a really loaded question, with some history. You know, I was busy taking care of everybody else instead of taking care of what I wanted, and making sure everybody else had their finances in order. And, you know, sometimes that left me behind and catching up. And, you know, that's what moms do, right? That's what moms do. Well, this mom anyways. And so, you know,
Good ones, good moms.
yeah, I patiently waited for my turn, and this was my turn. I pulled the trigger because my daughter was expecting a child. Unfortunately, she lost her child over the weekend, but
Oh, no.
my thing was, enough is enough now. Enough is enough. Our bodies have to be healthy enough to bring forth life. And I don't know that they're ever going to try again, because it was very devastating for them. But the reality of it is that for the last 2 years, I've been telling people about this machine and this family, and the benefits, the health benefits. And, you know, I feel like everybody should be a part of this family. I feel like if you have any sort of health problems, even if you don't, you know, there's a lot of people that, you know, talk about being healthy and talk about healthy diets, but yet they're drinking bottled water. I mean, that's not healthy, you know. So my thought is, and my goal eventually is to have one in every home of my children, you know, and my grandchildren. And that's my long-term goal, you know. But yeah, everybody should. I tell my neighbors about it. They've got health problems. I'm just like, put everybody on the block, you know. You don't have to start out with a K8. Get the you know, the little one. It doesn't matter. Get the water.
Yeah.
You know, find a water share. Get involved.
So have you, during all this period of time, have you actually been like going and getting water from somebody, or?
Yes. My friend, one of my good friends here at work, and my prayer partner, she has a machine, and so she brings me water every week.
Did I tell your friend I love her today? Bless her heart.
Did.
We need to get her on the show one of these days. I want to talk to her too. I want to hear her story.
Okay. Yeah.
That's one of the things. If you could reach out to her and let her know, hey, we want to have you on the Kong Family Show, because the family's got some questions to ask, and they want to share your story out there to the world. You never know whose life you're going to change with your story. And so
yeah,
you know, that's absolutely one of the big things for us. And so you've actually been drinking the water. You just haven't have been able to get it from your own machine.
Right.
What kind of effects do you think that it's had for you during that time frame?
You know, that's an interesting question, because when I first got I was so excited, right? I was just so excited. And when I first got the water, she brought me a gallon. I said, hey, bring me a gallon, because everybody says you should drink at least a gallon. So I'm telling you what, I kid you not, I drank that gallon of water within 30 minutes. It was so good. It was like an experience that I hadn't had. And the way it felt in my body. And again, you know, I'm skeptic, right? I'm skeptic. I'm just like, and I'm really cautious about things I put in my body, like anything that has to do with medicines or anything like that. And, you know, what's going to happen to you on the inside, right? So I drank the water, and you know those thermometers that have the silver, what is that, mercury in it, and how the mercury just kind of, you know, just goes into all the cracks and crannies. And that's how I felt. I felt like it was just a smooth, touching all the cracks and crannies. It just felt so good. It felt really good. My body felt like homeostasis was happening. You know, like, wow, that felt really good. Oh my God, that's so good. Oh, I need some more. Like, I couldn't quench my thirst, but I wasn't thirsty. You know how you're so thirsty and you go and crack open a beer and you drink that beer? It was beyond that. It was really good. I don't know how to otherwise explain, but I felt really good. I felt, and I didn't feel full. You know how you drink a glass of water and you feel like it just sat on top of your stomach and now you have to burp, and I didn't feel any of that. It didn't give me any kind of feelings of residue left, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's interesting stuff. I love hearing that, you know, because that's pretty much par for the course when it comes to people who start drinking Kong. You know, it is different.
Yeah.
You know, and the science behind it really explains why it felt that way and why it felt like it was going into all the nooks and crannies of your body, because that's exactly what it's doing. So, Sean, I'm curious, do you have any, at this point, do you have any questions for Venita that what she said? Do you have anything to add to that? Or?
Hey, the more you evolve in this interviewing process, the more Charlie Rose, you know, you got that mojo about you. You're hitting them all on the head like a carpenter right now. No, and I just, you know, bottom line is I just like listening. She's got it. You're answering, you're asking her questions, and she's rocking it like Herbie Hancock. So I'm just doing a little 11-5 with my spinach right now, and waiting for my biscuits to come out, which I need to. So I'm kind of multitasking, but yeah, proceed, please, because you're nailing it, man. You're nailing it, and she's handling these questions very well.
Well, that is awesome, buddy. I'm glad to see you utilizing Kong there, cleaning the garbage off of that food. And so, Venita.
Oh, I just did my strawberries, and the strawberries were so gross.
It's crazy.
You know, strawberries are the most. The strawberries are the dirtiest, and the chemicals and pesticides. Strawberries are the worst fruit out there for that stuff, and so I really get after it with the strawberries, because I don't want none of that muck or gook on any of my stuff, you know.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of leads me to my next question, which really isn't usually a question that I ask, but because Venita is in a unique situation where she's still waiting, she's anticipating, she's excited because she's got that new present coming in the mail here real soon. So give us a little bit of your thought process about what you still haven't gotten your machine yet, but it's going to be showing up sometime, probably the beginning of next week. And so what are you feeling? What is your excitement? You know, is it like you're getting ready to go to Disneyland and you know that it's coming up next week? And you know, how are you feeling about that? How do you feel about just the fact that it's taken you a couple of years to get to the point you're finally done, you know, giving everything else out to everybody else, and now it's time to take care of you? How does that feel? I want to get a little bit into your emotions about how excited you are with, you know, you're finally gonna have Kong sitting right there on the countertop. Woo!
I mean, it's like, I'm really proud of myself. You know, it's like a huge accomplishment. You know, for me, you know, I'm the type of person, when I set my mind to something, I achieve it eventually. You know, and this felt like, God, you know, a long time coming. So like I'm like a kid in a candy store right now. I'm just waiting, and I keep saying, okay, a package is coming, a package is coming, you know. And so I just can't wait to open it up, and you know, just I'm excited. I mean, like, it's beyond Christmas, you know what I mean? So yeah.
Well, you know, the excitement of being able to know that you're going to be able to get the pesticides off your food. You know, I always tell people that the first time they clean their vegetables off or their fruits off, and they see the stuff that comes off of them, that's it. It's over with. The job's done. There's no way they're going to send the machine back. Nothing like that. They're not going to let anybody pry that thing out of their cold dead hands. You know, that thing's sticking and it's staying forever. And so I know I'm really excited for you to be able to get to that point. And you know, there's a lot of people out there, Venita, and I just curious what your thought process is towards this and what you ended up doing, or whether you know, a lot of people, their biggest problem, you know, the biggest thing that we hear from people is, oh, I can't afford it. It's too expensive. And, you know, the truth is they look at it as an expense instead of an investment. And if you can get people to look at it as an investment, then that whole thing of I can't afford it goes away. But, you know, that's part of the battle right there. And, you know, so there's lots of different ways that people go about buying their machine. You know, my wife and I, we bought our machine with money that we had in our pockets and paid for it outright, which personally, I wish I wouldn't have done that. I wish I would have used a 0% interest credit card, because then I could have added some credit to my credit score, which one of my goals is to get up there to that top credit score, which I think is 850. And so that would have helped me towards that goal. And I didn't utilize it. And I forgot about the concept of using other people's money. And so, who knows, some people buy it outright. Some people use an Agix financing. Some people use 0% cards or whatever they do. I'm curious, you know, for our listeners out there who might be resonating with what you're talking about, where they really want to get their machine and they're putting it off because they've got to take care of other people. And, you know, we've learned that we really need to take care of ourselves first before we can take care of other people. If you're not taking care of you, then you really can't take care of other people. And so, what was that process like for you, as far as, you know, what advice you might give to other people in that regards, and, you know, what your experience was?
You know, it is an investment. And it's an investment, you know, I think for myself, you know, it felt like every month I was just so disappointed because, okay, another month I can't get it. Okay, another month I can't get it, you know. But then I would always say, okay, but let me get this taken care of, you know. But as I began to go through my banking statements and looking at, well, where is my money really going? You know, because of course, you know, some of us are living above our means. And so, of course, we can't afford anything, you know. But if we, you know, so let me go back a little bit. So when I first got involved in this, people were going through their garages and selling things. And the thing was, if, you know, how bad do you want it? You must not want it bad enough. And that would really irk me. That irked me, you know, and because I felt like, well, what else can I do, you know? And then I you know what, there had to be a shifting of the mind. There had to be, because I didn't like that. I didn't like them saying that. I didn't like them telling people that, well, if you're not looking through all your stuff to sell it, you don't want it bad enough. And I was offended by that, you know, because nobody knows anybody else's story, you know. And so I had to really shift. I had to make a shift there and think about, well, how bad do I want it? How bad do I really want, do I really want this? You know, and how important is it to me? And so while I was taking care of everybody else, I was trying to put some stuff away for myself. And like I say, going through, you know, what am I spending my little bit of extra on? You know, and it was the coffees, it was the, you know, stopping in the morning and getting, you know, whatever, you know, $10, $11 sometimes. Well, that stuff adds up, right? Mm-hmm. So it's the little sacrifices that you have to make in order to get the longer term things. that coffee is just for the moment. My machine is going to be for a lifetime.
Yes.
And here's the clincher about it. My machine is going to bring life to me and to those that I share my water with. And that was a bigger inspiration for me than to say I can't afford it. If you look at it and you put your pennies right, and you save and you're disciplined and you know, now I can say, well, how bad do you want it? How bad do you want good health? How bad do you want to start feeling better? You know, and are you disciplined enough to feel better about your health? You know, to try and do something different than the pharmaceuticals, try to do something different than eating dirty vegetables that have chemicals on them, you know, things of that nature. So how bad do you want it?
Right.
Prioritize.
Man, that is so inspirational. I love that, because, you know, that is a great question that people need to ask themselves. And ultimately, when it comes down to it, it's really all about that. What's important to you? You know, we talk about this all the time. Sean and I have done entire episodes of the show about all the expenses, all the things that people pay money for. And it's basically just money that's going down the drain. And it's really not helping them, and they can't afford it. But then all of a sudden, here they got a new snowmobile, or they drive up in a big fancy car or something like that. You know, something stupid that's not really doing them any good, except for maybe the way that it's making them think in their brain cell. They feel like they're doing great because they got this fancy car, or this cool snowmobile, or whatever that might be. And so it's really neat to hear you talk about that you basically just had to say, hey, I want this thing, and let me take a look-see here. What am I spending my money on? Holy moly, look where all my money's going. Jeez. Yeah. You know, and then realizing, hey, I can actually put that money somewhere else, somewhere that's going to be an investment into me. And, you know, I got to tell you something here, because we've got a bunch of people on the Facebook Live, and Julio said something pretty funny. He said, man, you made that water sound orgasmic. And I say, yeah, good point, Julio. She did make it sound kind of orgasmic, didn't she? I was getting all hot. You know?
Well, hey.
How could you not? We got Kellogg's water. Well, that is so classic. I just love that.
Hey, if I may, you know, I think what we're on top of here is an awakening. Yeah. It's not only just awakening of consciousness about just our lives and, you know, how we've been indoctrinated to just, you know, come up. It's pills, it's surgeries, it's, you know, and it's this awakening that's taking place. And Kangen Water is just literally driving the bus. It's flying the plane. It's leading the charge in that whole wellness revolution. And I just continue to be amazed by the stories and just the vaults and the wealth of information people have in terms of just like their story and their experience and what led them to it. And we're just slowly rocking this thing. We're slowly making differences in people's lives daily. What's that, my boy?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Go ahead, honey. Sorry.
That's all right. No, you're absolutely
right. Go ahead, guys. Dad moment.
You're absolutely right. You know, and it is like almost like an indoctrinated thing for me. But it's a change. It's a change in a shift in how we're thinking about things. You know, we're so programmed to think about things with mainstream society, you know, and we need to do ourselves a favor and get outside of that box and, you know, really think about, okay, is this really conducive to where I'm going or what I'm trying to do for myself? And if it's not, you know, like for me, like I'm a little overweight, but it's not conducive for me to go jump on the next pill fan, you know, bandwagon and start putting stuff in my body that I don't know what the long-term effects is going to be. you know, and we need to stop jumping on all these bandwagons and really take the time to do a shifting. But, you know, we don't know what we don't know. And a lot of people are so mainstream society, you know, in their thinking process, they don't know how to get outside. So like an example, the morning motivation, someone comes along with something like that and they start listening to that. Now they know, right? So now they have the responsibility to make that shift and make that change and think for themselves and do that self-development and work on themselves. But geez, if we don't know, we don't know. And so that's why we're like we're like those lambs in the line. You know, we're just in a line and we're going on the conveyor belt and we're just processing through life and not taking what is needed for ourselves, i.e., you know, getting involved in the water and doing something for yourself and becoming healthy and changing the way you feel inside, changing the way you look on the outside and how you feel and what you're projecting. And, you know, it all comes full circle, right?
Yes. Amen.
But first you got to get out of that, you know, that built-in mainstream way of thinking.
Yeah, that's exactly the truth, boy, isn't it? You know, it's I know that the being in the morning motivations has really shifted my paradigm a lot. It's changed everything about my life. The way I think about things is, you know, because like you said, you don't know what you don't know, and until you learn it, what do you do? And you know, I never understood the concept as well as I do now about, you know, self-motivation. Everybody's out there pointing the fingers at everybody else, and they're not even realizing that three of those things are pointing right back at them. And, you know, I always tell people, go look in the mirror if you got issues. And, you know, it's like the whole thing this morning, which was kind of fun. If you think you're having a bad day, just remember that your mom and dad have to walk to school 10 miles every day, uphill both ways, you know. So,
really?
In the snow.
In the snow, exactly. Yeah.
You know, you got to think about it that way, and you realize there's always somebody that's in a worse position. There's always something you can do to better your position. And you know, so now with everything, this has been fun. I've really enjoyed this, having you on here, Venita. This is some powerful, inspirational stuff that's going to help a lot of people as time goes by. And so now I want to move on to my favorite question of all. This is actually my favorite question to ask people, just because of the interesting things that come out from. We all have something that really touches us, and so the differing answers to this question are always insightful and inspiring, and that kind of thing. But what this next question is that you got somebody that's got a twinkle in their eye. They're interested. They're kind of curious about the Kong family. And you get one thing to say to them. That's it. You get one thing to say to them. What do you say?
What do I say? I mean, that's the end
one thing. You got one opportunity to tell people about the water, about the family, about what this powerful, you know, whatever. You get one thing you get to say. What is it?
I would say, get it. No matter what it takes, get it. Do something for yourself and get it. Cut corners if you have to, but get it. You won't regret it. You know. So if I could just go a little bit further, you know, if you want to be better, you have to do things to make that happen. And if you want to feel better, you have to do things that are going to allow that to happen. So whatever your doubts, whatever your fears, you know, put those to the side and jump in with both feet and do yourself a favor. Because really that's what you're doing. You're doing yourself a huge endeavor by becoming part of this family and getting your self in better health. If you're not in better health, how are you going to help the ones around you? You can't preach to somebody about not eating junk food or, you know, eating right or taking care of themselves if you yourself aren't willing to do something about taking care of yourself. You know, it's kind of like the smoker telling his kid, don't smoke.
Right.
You can't. You can't. So I encourage you. What always irked me was how bad do you want it? But I encourage you. How bad do you want to feel better? You know, or you want to feel better? You want to be healthy? You know, get yourself a water machine. Become a part of the Kong family. And, you know, the Kagan water system. It's just awesome. And for those ladies out there that want to be beautified, there's even some beauty water.
Yes.
You know, hey, just throwing that out there.
Yeah, well, you know, once you have that machine on your countertop and you start getting the opportunity to really use it,
Yeah.
you're going to be just, it's going to be beyond where it's been just getting the water to drink. Once you literally be able to start utilizing this water, because it's so much more than just drinking water. And you know, that's one of the reasons I always tell people, don't just get the little machine that just makes the drinking water, because it's more than that. It's, you need to spend the extra money to have all of it. You need all of the waters. You don't just need just the drinking water, because there's just, like Sean was saying, you know, the strawberries, they're like sponges, and they literally just soak in all this garbage that the only way you can get it off is by utilizing this water, you know, it's so incredible what's, you know, that was the thing that really got me, because the first time I cleaned my fruits and vegetables off and I saw the gook that come off of them firsthand, that was it. There was no way that anybody is ever going to get this machine away from me, baby. This baby, it's going to make a big difference.
Well, you know, excuse me. You know, one of the big things for me too was the ability to sterilize and clean and sanitize without using harsh chemicals and just use this water. You know, I love my house to be clean and sterilized. I'm always using bleach or, you know, Lysol or something to sanitize. Clorox. I like Clorox. I love Clorox. But, you know, it leaves that smell in the air. So you smell these chemicals. It's like, God, who used all that bleach, you know? But with this, I'm going to have to use those harsh chemicals. You know, my 78-year-old mom's not going to have to be breathing in those harsh chemicals because Venita decided to deep clean the house on a Saturday. You know what I mean? So dude, I'm stoked. I'm so stoked about getting this machine in my hands, because you're right. It's not just about the drinking water. You know, it's about clean fruits and vegetables. It's about sterilizing your house without harsh chemicals. It's about healing wounds and you know, cuts and different things with the water, you know, and not having to depend on these pharmaceutical things, you know, anymore. And I'm stoked. I don't know why anybody wouldn't be, you know.
I love it, honey. I think that might be the funnest answer to that question yet, where you just go, get it.
Yeah.
One of my things that I love to say is, Kong, get it, drink it, live it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's just perfect. That's a powerful message that, you know, I hope that people, as they get to see this, because we're recording this right now, it's going to go onto my YouTube channel, and then I'm going to send it to you and share it out so that everybody can share it all they want, because that's kind of what this is all about. It's about sharing stories, and because we never know. I know for me personally, what got me involved with Kong and Water was a story. It wasn't all the facts and numbers and science and all that crud. That didn't get me involved. That didn't even touch my brain cell. It wasn't until I heard that story, that fateful story from Brittany Dykes that came out one day that made me click that see more button, and all of a sudden, boom, the light bulb went on in my brain cell and changed my life forever. And so these stories that we're sharing here on the Kong Family Show 7 days a week, we want to, we want to keep sharing them and get people in here to tell their stories, because we never know whose story is going to wake somebody up, whose plight, whose situation is going to resonate with people and change somebody's life. And like, here's my sweetie.
Hi.
This is the gal that makes me the sharpest dressed dude in the place all the time, right?
All right.
You're gonna eat best. Gotta eat hard eggs every day.
I gotta eat hard-boiled eggs every day because we got 5 chickens and they make 5 eggs a day, regardless. Every single day, we gotta eat them.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
I highly recommend chickens. They're cool pets, and they.
I try to talk my husband into getting some so that we can have eggs and chicken pets, and he refused.
Oh, dang it. Well, he'll love them. If you get chickens, you'll love them. They're the greatest pets. They're the one pet out there that actually pays for themselves.
Yeah, right?
And
right.
Plus we used to do a lot of composting until we got chickens. Now we just give everything to the chickens. They eat everything.
Oh, nice. Yeah, exactly.
But the whole part about this, and I so appreciate you taking your time to come on here with us. And I really hope that you'll help me get your friend that's been giving you the water. I'd really love to get her on here sometime. If you could help her by having her reach out to me on Facebook or call me. Just so you know, the Zoom link that we're in here on, that number, that's my cell phone number. So if you ever need to get a hold of me for anything, if you ever have any questions about anything that I can help you with, I'll be happy to help you. And if I can't, then I'll help you find the answers. And because that's what we are. We're a big, huge family of people trying to help each other, grab people from down there on that ladder and yank them up so that they're up there on the higher rungs with you, right? But the final thing that I'd like to ask you is all based around this family and stories and people resonating with each other. And there might be people out there that they've been listening to me, they've been listening to Sean, but it's all been going in their one ear and out their other ear. And finally, the lovely Miss Venita came on the show, and what she said actually resonated with them. And they want to get a hold of her. They want to talk to her. They want to work with her. They want to buy a machine from her. They want to be part of her team. How do they get a hold of you, Venita? How do people get a hold of you? What information do you want to give out so that people who resonate with you can get a hold of you and they can join you in whatever it is you're doing? If you're, part of the Gaz network or something like that or whatever, give that whatever information you would like to give out about you so that people know who you are, how they can get a hold of you. That's what I'd love to give you the opportunity to do right now, is to share you.
Well, they can follow me on Facebook. They can contact me through Messenger, Venita Deleon. And then I also have my business pages, which is Venita and Rick. So, or you can just look me up on Facebook and find my profile and go over to my pages and see what pages I have, and they connect with me there. They can connect with me through Messenger. So, yeah, I'm all over. So yeah.
Well, that's great. That's part of what this is all about as well. It's about connecting people and helping people get their information out there, because if people don't know who you are, they don't know where you are, they don't know anything about you, how the heck are they going to hook up with you? How are they going to work with you? They don't even know that the lovely Miss Venita's out there, but now they do, because she's come on the Kong Family Show. We're going to share her out there with the world for forevermore. And so with the last thing I would like to ask you, this is a new question that I'm throwing in from now on, is, in closing, what would your message be to people? What, you know, do you have any final thing that you'd like to reach out to the guests with that, you know, extrapolates on the get it, or, you know, just something from your heart that that you'd like to share? If there is something, now's that great opportunity to share that out. What's in your heart, honey?
Well, for me, you know, I'm a helper, right? I'm in the helper field, and I want everybody to have the best life, you know, and what does that mean for you? I don't know, but for me, it means I want to be around. I want to be around. I want to be healthy. I want to put good things in my body so I could be around for my family. And while I'm around, I want to live a spry life. I'm not getting any younger, right? So do something to take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself, you know, and I want to see people healthy. I care about people, right? I care about people being okay and not being in pain and not being sick, and, you know, invest in this, invest in yourself. Become a part of our family, and you won't regret it. Matter of fact, you know, I put money on the table that you'll see that it's the best thing you could have ever done for yourself, and just to be the best you that you can be, you know. And I just want everybody, you know, in my perfect world, I win this $5 million lotto and I put a machine in everybody's home. You know what I mean? You know, that's my perfect world, right? But that's not reality. But invest in yourself. Take care of yourself. That's all I could say.
Wow, what a great message. I love that. And, you know, that's one of the things, that kind of statement right there is what really keeps me jolted and ready to rock and roll every day, and just looking forward to this every single day, is just awesome stories like that, awesome information, enlightening, inspiring. You know, that's what we're trying to do. We've got to enlighten and inspire the world, and that's how we're going to change it. And so it's really a wonderful thing to, and I really appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to jump in here with us and share some magic with the world. And, you know, Sean, thank you so much for being here, brother. I'm so glad that you got the kids there with you.
Yes, it's exciting.
Make sure to give them a big group hug for me.
Group hug.
I will.
Always good seeing
my
that.
daughter was trying to get milk and stuff, and she was trying to stay off the camera, and so she was tippy-toeing around. But no, it's beautiful. You know, it's funny because it's going to be 55, 60 again today, and we've got all this snow out here. So what do we do when we have a lot of snow on a warm day? We build a snow fort. So that's what we're getting into this afternoon. But yeah, no, first class Kong show with a first class guest. No, God bless you, sister. I love your giving heart. I love your authenticity. Your compassion wears and looks very good on you, honey. And I'm really thankful we had you on today. This cat, like I said, man, he's kind of squeezing my necessity out because he's become so proficient with his interviewing questions. I'm just happy to be his Tonto, you know what I mean? His Robin. Because this is the Lone Ranger and this is Batman, and I'm just his sidekick, and I love it because, again, what are we doing? We're awakening people, one guest at a time, one story at a time. And I'm hoping that something along this interview resonates with your people. It's a wonderful way to be able to get to people by sharing these recordings, and you're just going to expand your opportunity there. So I wish you nothing but blessings in your endeavors with Congan and this whole scene, and look forward to having you on in the future. And yeah, just really thankful to have you on this morning, honey.
Thank you. Thanks, Sean.
You know it. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
All right, JJ.
Thank you guys so much. I love you both, and love all you people out there. Thanks to everybody who jumped on the live on the Kong family page. And, you know, I hope that everybody got some value out of this. And we look forward to doing it again soon. Venita, after you get your machine in and start utilizing it a little bit, I definitely would love to get you back on to see how it's going, see how you're feeling, you know, because it is a different thing when you get the machine and you actually have it and you got going, baby. You know, it's exciting. And so I look forward to bringing you back on again so you can share your excitement. And, you know, that's what's going to change the world. And so we're doing it, and it's happening, and there is no stopping it. And, you know, the Kong family is here to accomplish that real simple goal, changing the world. And so, you know, with all that, don't forget your love you guys so much. Have yourselves an awesome day. And don't forget your HoooDeeeHoos. HoooDeeeHooo! Love you, kids. Have a great one.
All right.
Oh, and hey, for the record, real quick, JJ, I got Yale pulling the upset, and that's your hat, right, Yale?
No, this is BYU.
Oh, bless those hearts. They're not even in the dance. They're over by the punch bowl while the rest of these cats are dancing. No, hey.
No, it's a tough time to be a BYU fan right now, I'll tell you that. But I'm loyal. I'm loyal. I can't help it, you know.
Utah State might go to the Final Four, for the record.
Yeah, gosh, they're looking tough. So
they're big, they're long, and they got some good guards. Yeah, hey, and NCAA start here shortly, so I got to get my TV programming situated. I need TVs everywhere and channels aplenty. God bless you guys. That's what hoop junkies like me do, and thank God I work for myself, or I'd be driving my office nuts if I had to deal with this at a job. But hey, you roll with it like Steve Winwood. Hey, God bless you, kids. Thank you very much, and have a great day and be a blessing to someone else.
Amen.
Giddy up.
Absolutely.
Love you, kids. Have a great day. Bye for now.
Word. Love you, bro.